Shameless.
United in the Europa League. Europa League. We tell them one time and we say Europa League. Europa.
Yes, people. Welcome back to United View.
Still playing.
Europa League. I feel like every time we get to this level of this preview, where it's a new, like it's still going, we can say that we're still here, we're still alive, and I hope to do 2 more Europa League previews. I really do. One for the second leg of this game, and the next one to go to Bilbao again because it will be the final. That's what we need. We need to hear this theme tune twice more. That's all we need. Okay.
That's what we need.
Yes, this is the preview for Manchester United's trip to Athletic Bilbao in the semi-finals, first leg of the Europa League. It is massive. We've known that it's massive. This is all we've been waiting for. This is all we've been caring about. These are the only games we want to preview. And it's here. It's upon us. It's massive. And I think I'm going to start off, Owen, by saying we have to basically follow suit. Of course, if we can bring a lead back to Old Trafford, amazing. But the way we've been performing in Europe and the way we've been in all these big European games, we haven't won any of them. That's the fact.
No,
we haven't won. Like, even in the group stage or the league phase, Porto, you fluffed it. Fenerbahce, you fluffed it. People like, did we beat Bodo Glimt away? Or was that at home? Who did we beat away?
I was at home.
Sorry,
we beat
SCSU.
SVSB. Yeah, we beat them away.
We beat them.
We beat Victoria Pilsen. Victoria Pilsen away.
Right. So there's been, but no disrespect. Like, that's the level of opposition. As soon as we've played Sociedad away, Lyon away, like I said, Fenerbahce and Porto away, we follow suit. We put ourselves in positions to win. I think we went 1-0 up in all of these games. But we did go 1-0 up in all of them. Yeah, we did. Yeah. But we somehow... Yeah, did we go 1-0 up?
Apart from Sociedad.
No, that was 1-1. They scored a pen.
Was it 1? Oh, yeah.
We went 1-0 up and they scored a pen.
Yeah.
So we had to hang on a bit. So we went 1-0 up in all of them. We proved... But I'll be naive to be like, let's go there and let's bring a lead back to Old Trafford. Ain't going to happen. Let's be real. People will do some criminal stuff and we won't. It's about staying in the tie and bringing back a minimum of a draw, which is
That's the formula. That's the formula. That's the formula that we've done in those knockout games. I mean, I was going to say this during the morning show, but I thought I'd save it for this. This is really, if you're going to look at all the teams we've played in the Europa League this season, this is the hardest team, the best team we would have gone up against. Obviously, like you said, yes, we've gone up against some teams with maybe some European pedigree in your, like, your Portos or Fenerbahces or Lyons or what, and people go, oh, they're difficult places to go. But this is the best team. When you're talking about the best teams left in this competition, obviously this year it's different because you don't have the Champions League teams dropping down. So the level of quality that's in this competition isn't really there. And I know, obviously, look, we're unbeaten in Europe. And we've been playing different in Europe as we've been playing in the Premier League. So there are positives there to hang on to. But this is the real test. And I would go to say probably this away game could be the hardest game we'll have, even if we win the whole tournament, would be this 100%. Game. Away against Bilbao at their place. They'll be up for it. They'll know that the next time they play in Europe at that stadium would be if they're in the final. So they're going to be all over it. They've had a good season in La Liga. They're currently 4th. They've got, I think, the best defense in La Liga. They've
lost 5 games all year.
They've lost 5 games all season, which is on par with all of the top teams like Real Madrid and Barcelona and Atletico. Their only problem is they draw a lot of games. They don't score a ton of goals. Defensively, they're very, very, very good. And when they have lost those games in the league, it's only been by like a goal or so, because defensively they're good. They get behind the ball. Now, interestingly, how will that play out in this game? Because you would think United with the back 5, it'll probably be more of a flat back 5 as opposed to a back 3. They'll get behind the ball and they'll play on the counter attack. They'll have to come out a little bit at Bilbao. So maybe that might help us a little bit because they'll be a bit more open and they won't really be sure what to do. So I think it's going to be a tight one. I think it's going to be a cagey one. I think, like I said, it's the most difficult game. So like you said, getting out of it, you just go and stay in the tie. Even if that's a draw, even if that's you're losing by a goal, you're still in the tie. That's not a problem. You can take that to Old Trafford. And as we've seen European nights, at Old Trafford, anything can happen.
It's in the gods. Yes, in the gods.
Yeah. exactly.
I agree.
A tough one.
We've got to stay in it. We've got to stay in it. I know that sounds a bit defeatist, but I think now is probably the time where you do have to look at. Well, we've done it with all of them. Sociedad, a decent team, decent. Leon, bit better, decent. So we have given respect to the opposition. I don't think we've come into this competition, just trying to disrespect all the teams, because we've had difficult games and, more importantly, difficult moments against all these teams. The tie was in the balance against Sociedad, 1-1, and it was also 1-1 for a period before we ran away with the game at Old Trafford, wasn't it? Was that game 4-1? What did we?
Yeah.
Patrick. It was 1-1. What, they scored first, didn't they? Yeah, they scored first.
I think they scored first. Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, penalty, and then after that we dominated. We deserved to win that one.
Yeah. We had the first leg plus like the first 15 minutes of the tie was like, we're in a game here. We're in a game until we sort of put our foot to the metal. So we don't, and look at what happened against Leon again, home and away. So we don't win games easily in this thing. We end up being victorious somehow, but nothing's easy. And like you said, this is the best team. Nico Williams, listen, proper player, proper player. And we spoke about it a little bit on the morning view. Here's the time to do it properly. What does he do? At the time of recording, we haven't heard Amram speak in the evening about who's fit and stuff like that. But with no Dallo there, you can put Dorgu at right wing back and say, listen, you're up against Nico Williams, kid. This is what it is. You come Man United, it's a big game. Nico Williams is a world-class talent. Yeah, world-class talent.
European Euros winner.
European winner, exactly. Winner. He took the piss out of England. Him and Yamal, respective wings. It was a nightmare, absolute nightmare. They were both brilliant. He scored very quickly in that game as well. Really good goal. Yeah. So, and just in general, he's a top player. So, do you put Dorgu there and have Mazraoui right centre back, because we're lack of options? So you have to do that anyway. Mazraoui can go out to help him, double up, be out there and be a presence out there, or do you just put Mazraoui up against him and put Dorgu on the left? The problem with that is I don't think we've got enough centre backs to cover that. Unfortunately,
depends on availability when it comes to people like De Ligt. They're going to be back.
Hasn't played in ages, though, man. I don't know if he's gonna...
started at the weekend. Whether or not though he would
play 90
play, that close around. Maybe that was a bit of a dry run for him to play on Thursday. Perhaps maybe that's going to risk it. I don't know. I don't know. That is something that Amram will have to think about. You feel like, you said this on the morning show too. Maybe it is a case if he does play Dorgu on that side, but he plays Mazraoui behind him, as if to say, look, you're going to have help there. And
which isn't too bad.
You have to help him, and that wouldn't necessarily be the worst thing in the world. But then that would mean on the other side, we can play Harry MS, because you need another wing back. We don't have another wing back on the other side. So,
and does he trust Harry MS in this type of game? In this pressure on him? He came off the bench with pressure against Leon. We were losing when he came on, innit?
Yeah, and he did really well in that game. It was interesting. I don't think this happened, but it was interesting against Bournemouth in the last 15 minutes or so. Luke Shaw was effectively a fullback again. He wasn't really playing, and shockingly, because he's most used to it, he actually that was his best performance in the game.
We forgot that Luke Shaw played 90 minutes because we were so annoyed about everything. We were like, he's actually come through a game and played 90 minutes. That's a miracle.
Yeah, exactly. So there are definitely decisions there to be made. As far as from a midfield point of view, you would think Casemiro and Ugarte.
They picked themselves.
That's what he's gone. That's what he's done in these away games.
Yeah. Maybe Bruno and Garnacho, I think.
Which means Bruno in the 10, and like I said, probably Garnacho. And obviously you could play Cobby, you could play Mount there, but clearly he likes Garnacho as an outlet, because he'll get into areas, not because he'll score goals or get assists, because he probably won't.
It's putting the other team on the back foot though, and giving them something to think about.
Literally, that's that.
And I think, and you know what? I do think that's probably the right thing to do as well. Away from home, you might not. There'll be a lot of transitions. You've got to kind of sit in a little bit. You've got to be a little bit reserved. And he's the only one who can run. And then as the game goes on, like say, inevitably you go, right, it's time for Cobby now. Get Mason Mount in there. Let's keep the ball a bit better now, and this, that, and the third. And then obviously we know Holding's going to be up front. So the team ultimately picks itself. I think the only question marks we should have is obviously because Adala's not there. So what do you do with Mazraoui? He's a multifunctional player. And do you trust Harry Amas? If you don't trust Harry Amas, you're going to have to go with wing backs of Dorgu and Mazraoui, respectively. But then, who are you putting centre half? Are you saying sorry, De Ligt's not ready yet? So Lindelof just has to play right wing back, right centre back, and Liora has to play left centre back, and then Maguire's in the middle.
Yeah, or is Shaw ready?
Or Luke, or do you go right? I'll rather play Luke Shaw for 65 minutes, see how he gets on left centre back.
Yeah,
Mazraoui, you can go to right wing back.
We're not
definitely not going to play the weekend,
Brentford.
and maybe something could happen again. We're not really legislating for things that we didn't expect, i.e., Luke Shaw can play in this game and be depended upon. Because really, I tell you what, as far as giving a bit back, you've been out for ages, mate, and you've been having setback after setback, and not only that, once you've been fit, you've still been very carefully managed. You know what I mean? And you have completed your first 90 minutes. You played longer than you expected to against Lyon. You should have a bit of rhythm now, and we should be able to call upon you a way to take the pressure off someone like Harry Amas, take the pressure off someone like Dorgu by you just being available. Play left centre back for us, give a bit of calm, give a bit of composure, and do a job for as long as you can, 70 minutes, and then we'll mix it up from there. Maybe that. And you know what? I wouldn't be opposed to that, because we have to lean into that bit of when Luke Shaw gets it right and he is playing, he is dependable, just not dependable in terms of being fit. You know, so we'll see. We'll see. Predicciones.
It's a tough one. I mean, I'm going to go with a 2-2, a Desmond.
I thought you would. Yeah, I thought you would. I thought you would go with that. I'm going to match you with the draw. I'm going to say 1-1, though. We ain't winning. I can't see us winning. It's just not what we do. If we win, it will be an anomaly. It'll be like, well, we just don't do that. So I've got no.
I'd be thrilled.
I'd be shocked. Oh,
I'd be thrilled with a draw.
Definitely. But just for once, it'd be nice to just go back home winning. Just how nice would that be? But can't we? Like all season, we're just give us that one performance where you lot just do this performance. We're like, we're just 1-2-0.
But you know,
sometimes I would always one.
With that group of players, I'd almost worry if they were actually if they were protecting a lead at Old Trafford, because I feel like they'd back off a bit. You know what I mean? You know, sometimes when they say like the worst thing is sometimes actually to be defending a lead rather than chasing a lead, because if you're chasing a lead, then you play more attacking football and you're going to be going forward. Whereas I just feel like with this group, they might freeze if they've got to actually do something expecting.
No, it's true. Well, why can't there just be something totally out of the blue, like we won 3-0? Ties over.
Yeah, game over. That would be amazing.
I mean, 2-0 and then all of a sudden the penalty happened.
With this group, never over. Even 3-0 would never be over.
It's true. It's true. I'm going with a draw, guys. I'm going with a draw. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Let us know in the comments what your predicted lineup would be, what you would do to fix some of the problems we've got, and what your prediction for the game is as well. We will see you on match day. We are out of here. Take care. Peace.